it's Sally with the Polka Dot Life. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Our January to June catalog, our mini catalog, has just went live and everyone is just raving about it. They are loving all of the new products. I hope that you are too. We are going to be working with one of those products today. It is great by itself, but it is great mixed with other products as well. I also wanted to bring a few things to your attention. The first being that our new basic white supplies have now launched on the website. I wanted to tell you, do not be afraid to jump in and order those new papers and envelopes and so forth. I have seen some demonstrations and the paper is fabulous. The stamping quality is very good. It is a much brighter white paper, and that will allow our inks to be a truer color. Our Whisper White cardstock had a little bit of a yellow tinge to it, and so this is going to be a great thing to switch over to the basic white because it is going to give you a much truer hue of the color. Now is a great time to order that 12-month prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscription because you will get to double dip. Not only will you get hostess rewards, but you will also earn celebration gifts, and that is a fun thing. January the 10th is the last day to place an order for the January Paper Pumpkin box. It is a Valentine theme kit, but don't let that scare you off if that's not really your thing. Take a look at last month's Paper Pumpkin video from me and you will see that I admitted it was not my favorite kit, but we still took those supplies and made a great couple of cards out of it, and I've continued to go on with it, and I'm very happy that I did. Of course, you can always skip a month of your Paper Pumpkin subscription if it really isn't for you. There's also an add-on kit for the Paper Pumpkin kit this month, and it has some boxes, and those are going to be great for gifts all year long. I believe, from what I can tell from the flyer, and it will be on the post that goes along with this video, it's a white box with black dots. And that kind of throws us right in today's theme. So let's flip the camera down and get started. Today we are going to be working with the True Love Designer Series paper. And there are 12 sheets and you get 6. There are 6 patterns. You get 2 of each. And they are, of course, double-sided. So on this side, there are a lot of just generic patterns, some geometric kind of designs, what have you. And then there are some florals on the other side. Now, I did use some of the florals today, but I like to use these florals and cut them out and color them with my blends. You could also just use a piece of this and then use our blending brushes and blend a color lightly on there to spotlight one of those flowers. You will probably see me using this paper in one of those ways in an upcoming video. Both before and during the holiday season, I took some time and went through some of my cards in my craft room. I gave a lot away. I gave some as gifts, I donated some, and so I needed to have some more cards to replenish my stash. Also, my daughter has informed me that she has gone through most of hers as well, and I needed to replenish those. I try to keep her in stock. So we are going to make some simple black and white cards today. Sorry, I've got something on this. Let's swap that out. I have an extra just in case I don't stamp straight. So we might as well start off with the best one we can. I do want to make sure I get it the correct way though. There's front and back to these. I'm using the Tasteful label dies today. I have our Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And we are just going to use the sentiment, "You are so special." This is just going to be kind of one of those generic all occasion cards. You can turn these type of cards into birthdays, get wells, thinking of you, thank yous, all those things. So I love the font on these two. I love the mix of different fonts, different styles on there. So that is stamped. I'm gonna move that to the side for a moment. We also have some stamping on our inside layer. And we're going to use "The Good Things in Life Are Better With You." So this is a card that you would send to someone that you know very well and that you have fond feelings for, that they're your friend. And I'm going to leave us a lot of room to write since we don't know the specific reason for sending this card. We are going to use this stamp. Sometimes I look at it and I think it looks like pussy willows, and other times I think it looks like leaves. I think they're leaves, but it's just a kind of a generic stamp that we can use. I think it's very gender neutral. So if we don't know who we're sending this card to, it doesn't matter. We can make it work for either a male or a female card. And I have already put some designer series paper on the back of my envelope, but I wanted to kind of dress up the front too. So we are just simply going to use this stamp again. Super cute. I have just a regular size card base. I will say this one is kind of what we refer to as a hot dog style. It's just I had some paper cut like this, so I just went ahead and used it like this, but you could certainly just do it to where it opens regularly like we usually do as well. I'm going to take our glue and I'm going to bring in this inside layer and go ahead and get it adhered down before I lose it on the pile of things in my desk, on my desk. I guess it's been a good day in the office and the craft room when you have piles of lots of crafting supplies. I'm going to move this to the side for a moment. And we have the second part that we are going to build on for our sentiment on our tasteful label dies. I love that several of those tags layer on top of each other. I think that just makes your card it just makes it look so much more elegant and takes it up a little bit of a level. Not sure what is going on over there. If it bothers me later after I get this together, a great thing you can do is just take a tip of your black Stampin' Right marker and just don't scrub on it, but just give it a little dot over top of that light spot and it'll take care of it right there. Okay. We are going to bring our Whisper White layer and our designer series paper. I decided, since I don't know if it's going to be for a man or a woman, to use this geometric print. Now that's not to say that I don't have any male friends or male viewers that don't enjoy flowers, because that certainly is not the case. And we're just simply going to center that up. And I apologize, but I do need to scoot this off and pick it up because I just cannot see if it is straight or what. All right. We're just going to give this a nice little rub. We can even turn it over on the back side to give it a nice little rub. Now, before we adhere this layer down, I wanted to take some of this twine, and this is from the snail, I have to get it right, snail mail twine combo. It comes with this, and it comes with, I believe it's Blushing Bride. That's the other color that's in there. That's what it looks like to me. It's pink. While I am getting this together, I thought we would talk for just a second. If you go to the polkadotlife.com and click that shop tab at the top, it's going to take you over to my actual Stampin' Up shopping site. And while you're there, you can use the little magnifying glass to search for whatever term you need to. But in this case, you could search for white or you could search for black, and it would tell you every product we have that has those colors. Just going to snip this off. But it is just amazing how many black and white products that we have. And I think we kind of forget about sometimes using them just together on their own. I love to use them with other colors or other DSP. Black or white is always going to make another color pop. Gardeners are always taught to make sure they have a white flower in their plantings, because it's just going to make everything else in your garden look so much more vibrant. And I think that's the same, you know, with a card. All right, just trying to get these spaced out a little bit the way I would like. Don't need them to be like perfectly spaced, but semi-straight would be good. And I've just used good old Scotch tape on the back of that. No one's going to probably keep this for years. It doesn't need to be archival safe. It will definitely hold, especially once we glue it down. So that is just a little tip to save you a little time and frustration. We're just going to layer this on first. You could pop this layer up if you wanted. I'm going to do my sentiment, and try sometimes. It just depends, I guess, on the mood. I mean, sometimes I don't mind spending a little extra on postage if I need to, but sometimes I just try to stay a little bit aware of how thick a card is, so we don't have to lay out too much. Like I said, it's not too bad when you have to just send one, but like at Christmas time when you're sending a bunch, that would add up quickly. All right. And I'm just going to kind of probably still center this, but I need to be a little bit aware of where I need to put my dimensional. So we're just going to come in a little bit on this side. But you know me, I like my dimensionals, especially if a place goes a little higher or a little lower. I like to make sure that it has its own coverage, and then I do not like my sentiments to sag in the center. I am just going to pick these off with my finger today. I know I don't normally do that. I usually use my take your pick tool. And today I'm going to be a little bit mindful of where we are, but I don't think that I need to worry super a lot about using glue on the back of my dimensionals for this card. Our stamping is just the focal point for the front of this card, just of our sentiment, and I think it's such a pretty one that I'm really okay with that. To finish off our card, I am using some of the matte black dots, enamel dots. I think these are awesome. I've loved working with them on these cards this week. I've enjoyed them. I don't know what's different. I guess I like that they're matte. And I haven't had a lot of experience with black embellishments, and I'm really glad that I do now. We could just do those there. I think I would just like to take the smaller ones and add 3 down the side, because I don't like doing just an even number. By adding the 3 brings us to a total of 5. So it's a little more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So that's our card for today. Isn't it just super? Clean lines. It's just a great card. It could be a congratulations. It could be just all sorts of things. I like just adding that little bit of twine. I like experimenting with some of our different embellishments and just seeing what looks I can create. So let me show you a few of the other cards that I made. This is one that features both sides of the paper. I added those black enamel dots to all of these cards. I just took some of our crinkled seam binding ribbon. You've heard me talk about that before. That is another great white embellishment. And I did heat emboss on this black with our white embossing powder. You could also do the reverse and emboss on your white cardstock with our black embossing powder. There is another item in the catalog that you could use as well, and it's a craft ink that's white, and you could use it to stamp images or sentiments onto your cards. It doesn't have quite this clean, bright white, which is why I chose not to use it today. It truly, if you want a chalkboard effect, that's the perfect one to use for you. And just did a simple greening on the inside. Now this is that same card. Actually, let's put them together for a second. I just cut them a little bit different, the angle a little bit different, but this one I stepped up just a little bit more. Of course, this polka dot tulle ribbon in the Whisper White really, it poofs up, and so it's just, it looks bigger, it's nice. And then I added more of a focal image here on my card, and I just added an extra little layer of a greeting. On the inside, I had another one of the daisies, and I'll be honest, some of that embossing powder had snuck outside of the lines, and it made it messy, and I didn't love it, but I didn't want to toss it. So I simply fussy cut around it really close, and then I got to salvage that image, and I used it on the inside of my card. And I just did a little spotlight of one of those flowers with a greeting on the inside. I think this one is a lot of fun. I used that same twine that we used in today's card, and I used our Game On stamp set. I think that is super fun. And I really think that this exact same card with this image stamped in red would be awesome. And I might just go back this afternoon and make one like that. But I just did a little birthday greeting. And I had a little snippet of that paper left. And so I just used it across the inside of my card. That is a great thing when you have not the teeniest, tiniest of scraps, but save your scraps. They make for great decorations on the inside, especially if you are one of those people that doesn't like to write on the inside of your card. It kind of takes up the space and just leaves you with some room to sign your name. This one, I did a few more layers, And I did some embossing with the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder. It's probably a little hard to see that on camera with the black, but I did some embossing on that one. I popped up this layer, which has been matted, used contrasting prints, and I put some of those black enamel dots on there as well. And this one is also hot dog style. I'm not sure why I had so much of that paper left, but I just, again, added a piece of that designer series paper and a greeting. This one is probably the simplest of the cards that I did, but I wanted to show you that this designer series paper, all of our designer series paper, can stand 100% on its own merit. I think sometimes we forget, in part because we just as crafters enjoy layering things up, but we forget that Stampin' Up! Artists have done such gorgeous work with these florals, especially on here. I thought that this was just stunning, and I can't wait to get back and work with this paper and do some coloring. I added a triple bow here, and I used this ribbon is from the Flowers for Every Season combo pack. It's a super soft ribbon. It's really nice. And then I just embossed another greeting, and I left this one blank. I tend a lot times with thank you notes because I have something more targeted, more specific, kind of know that format of what I need to write on thank you cards. Sometimes I just leave those blank inside, but I could certainly just even stamp a little floral image or something on the inside of that as well. Once I got to creating, it was just really hard to stop because I kept things simple. I didn't get frustrated by anything, and it was just easy to keep going and create a lot of cards in a minimal amount of time so that I can have some cards ready in my arsenal whenever an occasion comes up, especially one that I have either forgotten about or didn't know about, or sometimes things just happen. Now I can be ready to have a card in the mail quickly. If you are like me, I need to send it pretty right away after I learn about something, or I generally, not that I forget, but just things happen and then it doesn't get sent as quickly as it should. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.